You guys, I'm excited to share this with you. Seth from Reminder Media is going to show us some amazing killer magazine stuff. Among other things, I had him send me something because I don't want anything unless it's really high quality. I mean, for my brand. So this is something, he'll tell us who all is using it, but I think Melissa Maddox and Rick Fletcher, if I'm remembering correctly, are both using this magazine right now. And it's sweet, but we got 10 options and that's one of them. So let's get started. 3 goals for today. We want to know, what is top of mind awareness? Got to keep remembering to let people in here. How do I got to remember how to turn off the waiting room? Otherwise somebody's going to be waiting in the waiting room here. Treva. Okay. Let me check here real quick. Enable waiting room. I'm turning that off. So if any naked people show up like they did for Kim's meeting that one time, just laugh and go with it, people. Just laugh and go with it. All right, goals. 10 options to achieve top of mind awareness. And then hopefully each of you can pick one, at least one, maybe several to run with. All right, so that's where we're going today. Hopefully you're on the right flight. So this is to get your wheels turning. Question: where would you meet a client for coffee? That's a real question. Treva, where would you meet somebody?
Five Lakes, Starbucks, Jeremiah's.
Oh,
if it's in Auburn.
All right, Kelly, where would you meet somebody for coffee?
I've actually met people at the office for coffee.
Yeah.
But my preference is Jeremiah's.
Jeremiah's. Now that we got the fancy coffee espresso maker, maybe we'll do that more.
Yeah.
So how about if you needed to find a definition of top of mind awareness, how would you do that?
Google.
Joni, I think Joni's on here. How would you find the definition? It's not a trick question.
Am I muted?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just came into the meeting. So the definition of
Yeah, if you wanted to find the definition, what would you do?
Of TOMA?
Yeah.
I would Google it.
There you go. Okay, so you'd Google it.
Or I'd ask my adult children.
So if you needed a home inspector, Jeremy, who would you call?
Aardvark.
Got it. Where would you send a client for a FHA pre-approval, Kim? She's on mute, I bet.
Yes, I was on mute. Ruoff, of course.
Of course. So right there, you guys, you're getting the idea of what is top of mind awareness. When you answered that just like that, it's because those companies have somehow gained traction in your brain that when you say, who do I need an inspector? You say Aardvark. A mortgage, you say Ruoff. You know, when you say, I need to figure something out, you say Google. These places have top of mind awareness with you. So the definition is this. It's the first brand that comes to mind when a customer is asked about a category. The first one that comes to mind. So Treva played a trick on us there. She gave us 3. She gave us 3, but the first one was what?
I think I said 5 Lakes first. Maybe I'm not
It's
sure.
interesting. You know, I figured everybody would say Starbucks, but you know, you Auburn people and Jeremiah's, you like that little better. So what is Jeremiah's doing that 5 Lakes or Starbucks is not doing that made that come to both of your minds? Interesting, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, part of 5 Lakes and Jeremiah's is because they are small local businesses. And so we do try to support them. But they're also very friendly. They always call all of us by name.
Ah, see, now we're getting to the heart of the matter here.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah's referred me, so I'll take that all day long.
Amen, sister. So, hey, I know Seth knows this guy. They've done an interview with him, Tom Ferry. Hopefully you guys all know who Tom Ferry is. You should all be following his YouTube and get notifications every time there's a video. It puts out amazing stuff. And I want to play you just about 7 minutes of this video because I think it really, for real estate, it really boils down what is top of mind awareness. Country internet here, you guys, you know how it is.
Your business thriving. Get ready to experience the success you've been searching for. Welcome to the Tom Ferry Show. Welcome to the Tom Ferry Show. You know what drives me nuts? When I hear from a client, hey, Tom, you're not going to believe this. I'm driving down the street in a neighborhood I've been down 1,000 times, and I see a for sale sign from another agent, and I know the person that lives there, and they just go nuts. And I hear this just anger and upset and frustration. And of course, you know, they're usually pointing it out. They're not looking inward. And I always just ask one question. Are you following the Tom plan? And they're like, the Tom plan? Oh, Tom Ferry, that's so egotistical. What do you mean? I go, no, not Tom plan. Are you staying top of mind with your customers? Look, people aren't sitting around going, oh my God, when's Taz going to call me? I need Taz. I'm not doing anything until my realtor calls me. That's not what they're doing. We are being bombarded by $14, $15 billion worth of advertising, online promotions, direct mail, billboards, you name it, everywhere, saying we can sell your home fast, inexpensively, and everything else, or we're the way. And guess what? There's just a big percentage of maybe you watching this right now saying, you know what? There's a big percentage of my clients that just forget, right? I'm not being responsible and keeping them informed to generate the kind of referrals I want. So let's talk about it. Ready? Here's the Tom plan. The top.
We're going to come back to that. But has that happened to anybody? You drive by and your friend has the competitor sign in the yard?
Yep.
Ah, how's that feel?
Last week.
Oh no. I hate that. Yep, but it can happen. It can happen if we're not paying attention, if we don't stay top of mind. What was the definition? You guys take yourself off of mute so we can have like a real meeting. Pretend we were in the conference room together.
Who comes to mind first?
First. Who comes to mind first? So if you come to mind second, what do you get out of that?
Nothing.
Not as much.
You don't get nothing out of it unless number one is not available. If they took a trip to Tahiti and you're number two, maybe you get the listing. But if you're number two, maybe you get a shot. Maybe, but probably not. So let's look back here. So poll, I'm going to skip the poll, but if the point I want to make is coming in second does you no good. Here's what the National Association of Realtors says. In their survey last year, 75% contacted only one agent to sell their home. So three out of four times, you don't even have a at bat. You don't even get to tell what you could do 3 out of 4 times. We always have this myth that people interview 3 agents and you want to be the last one and all that. But people hate confrontation. They don't want to interview 3 agents and then have to tell 2 that they're not using them. So 3/4 of the time, buyers, by the way, also interview 1 agent. The first agent they deal with is the agent they buy from. So there's no sense being second. So the question is, what do we do to stay first, and how do you feel about that? Most people, it's terrifying. Yes, most people go, oh my God, I got to be the number 1 agent in their mind. That's terrifying, right? How do I feel about that? How do you guys feel about that? I'll wait.
I feel like I do a lot of the talking, so I'm waiting too, Chris.
Okay, we'll wait. Trina and I will wait for you guys.
The pressure.
Intimidated.
Yeah, it's intimidating for sure. Well, I'm only have so much appetite for discomfort, so I'm going to go on, even though you sorry suckers, this would be a lot more impactful if you actually participate. So here's the deal. This is how I feel about it. Because I know if I can get top of mind, I don't have to compete with anybody. If I'm Jeremiah's, I'm not competing. They're not checking my latte price to see if Starbucks is cheaper, if Five Lakes is cheaper. They just say, Jeremiah takes care of me. They know my name. You know, they greet me, they refer me. You're going to get the business, period. So again, this, Gary Vee, if you guys don't know Gary Vee, you got to follow Gary Vee. But this is one of my favorite quotes. The best strategy ever is care about people. That's how we get top of mind more than anything else. So my man, Ricky Carruth, relationships over transactions. That's what they describe with Jeremiah, is they have a relationship regardless of the product. You could say, Matt Minem was not on here, is he? You could say coffee is just coffee. I mean, it's just coffee. Like it's a staple. So there's no real differentiating the product, but it's the relationship that matters. And then our man, Brian Buffini, says, if you want to make your business big, you've got to make your focus small. Read that again, you guys, because that's money right there. Everybody's trying to make their focus huge. They're trying to attract everybody. We don't need to. And I'm getting to Seth in 1 minute, all right? So I'm a little past 15 after, but I want to make this point. Here's your sphere of influence. And this is what Brian Buffini talks about. And what I want to rehash with you one time is your sphere of influence. If it's 100 people, on average, there are going to be 20-ish sales out of those 100. About 15% are going to move this year, and some of those are going to buy and sell. So that's 20 sales. That's 3 times what the average realtor sells in a year. And you've only talked to 100 people. And then would it be reasonable to say each one of those 100 that in your sphere of influence knows one person who's going to move this year? They all know at least one person. Some of them know 10 people, right? So you've got, just with a sphere of 100, if you can just validate and pay attention and love on 100 people, you have 120 opportunities this year. What if you got 25% of them? Somebody do some math. I know you guys can multiply by 3%, but what about 30%? 30% of 120 is how many transactions?
40.
I hate to break it to you, but nope.
Almost 40.
It's 30. 120, a quarter of those is 30 transactions. How many people would be happy with 30 transactions? I mean, 9 out of 10 realtors would be thrilled with 30 transactions. That makes you about $100,000. 30 transactions. If you just do average sales, 5,000 a pop, that makes you about 100 grand. Not too shabby in Auburn or Fort Wayne. What if you did half of those? What if you really were top of mind and you did half? Now you got 60. You're going to need some help.
Yeah.
You're going to do 60 on your own, probably.
Sure.
This is what happens. That's what happens. You make a lot of money if you can get just half of those just focusing on 100 people. All right, so what's your plan? Here's the 3 options. When you're getting started, you got a lot of time, you got a lot of energy, but you don't have any money.
She doesn't want to listen.
Right? Then when you get a little more established, like Kelly, you don't have much time, but you got some money and you got some energy to invest in people. And then when you get to be an old fart like me and you're semi-retired, you've got a little bit of time, you got a little bit of money, but you don't have that much energy left. So we have to tailor our plan. How are we going to approach people based on where we are on this development curve? You got time and you got money. So think to yourself. So we're going to start with the things that cost money, that invest in your business. By the way, you are running your own business. We understand that, right? We are running a business. So when you open a Pizza Hut franchise, they don't say, we'd love to have you if you got $100 in the bank and you're willing to spend $2 a week on advertising. That's not the way it works. You have to pay for the business up front. You have to have $500,000 available cash, and you have to agree to spend, I think it's like $5,000 or $10,000 a week in advertising if you want to open a Pizza Hut. That's pretty wild. But yeah, we get in real estate. We don't want to spend nothing. I'm not spending nothing. I'm not even buying postcards, you know? So think about it. You're running a business too. So we got to pour back into our business. So here's the thing I found recently, and Seth's going to take over. American Lifestyle, Reminder Media. Their advertising is on point. They are speaking our language, you guys. Seth, are you on here? Can I
Yes,
make
I am.
you a presenter? Is
Yep,
that
absolutely. I do have some visual I can share, so that works perfect.
How's that for a warm up for you?
Yeah, it's fitting in right with our concept, so this is perfect.
Man, just take the orders. That's all you have to do. How do I make you present?
Yeah, you're making it easy for me, Chris.
How do I make you present?
You should be able to, if you hover over my thumbnail, there should be like the 3 dots, and I think you could click that and it allows you to make me the presenter.
Thank God you're on here.
I'm not typically on that side of the system though, so I'm not totally sure.
Ask to start video. Make host. Well, you have to make me host when you're
Yeah,
done.
I'll switch it back, I promise.
Good. All right. I think you should be good there.
Okay, perfect. All right, so is that showing up for everybody?
It is.
All right, wonderful. So yeah, so Chris, thanks so much again for having us out. We always love the opportunity. So for anyone that's not familiar with us, I know Melissa Maddox has been with us for about 1.5 years, Rick Fletcher for about 2.5 years, but for anyone not familiar, I'm calling with Reminder Media, and I'm the marketing coordinator for Reminder Media over here. So we've been around for about 16 years. We're based out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and without sounding too cliche, we did start out in a garage in 2004, and we've really grown significantly over the years due to our success in the realm of real estate. So today's little presentation is called Stop Missing Opportunities and Start Connecting. And I can say with complete certainty, whether you're one of the brand new agents, part-time, seasoned veteran, or really anywhere in between, referral business and client retention is absolutely critical to your success in the business. And I promise I'm not going to use statistics the entire time, but a couple from the NAR data profile that really do speak volumes. So NAR found that 53% of buyers and 63% of sellers found their agent through a referral or used the last agent that they've worked with. Now, taking a closer look at the sellers, we know that everyone wants to be the good listing agent. Again, 63% of sellers found their agent through a referral, and you'll notice that only about 5% found their agents through websites and more traditional farming tools combined. So yes, people are browsing for homes online, but it's not necessarily where they're finding their agent, which makes the next slide a little peculiar. So this is where NAR found agents spending their budget. And they found that the majority of agents spend a whopping $0 per year on referral-based and relationship expenses. So this just shows us a lot of agents are putting their time, their effort, but most importantly, money, maybe not in the right place. And now I think Tom Ferry stole my line on this one, but I mean, this is the last thing anyone in real estate wants to see. You're driving home from the long day, you go past the old client's home and there's the for sale sign that popped up with a different agent's name on it. We know it's like the worst nightmare for any agent. And these are the missed opportunities that we're looking to prevent. And now I'm sure everyone that's logged on right now can agree, real estate is a relationship business and human nature tends to hover towards what we see the most. So that being said, the easiest way to generate more referrals, secure more repeat transactions is by reminding your clients that you value the relationship and really reminding that you appreciate the business that they have sent your way in the past. And that's exactly what we do. We help agents stay connected with the spheres of influence in the past clients in order to help generate those opportunities and secure those future transactions. So we actually have 2 ways of doing that. So the American Lifestyle magazine, some of you may have seen it floating around before. It's very similar to Architectural Digest or a Southern Living magazine in terms of the content. And then about 2.5 years ago, we started a second magazine called Start Healthy. And this one has a slightly healthier spin to the content. So healthier recipes, little tips on how to boost the immune system. Now, since everyone's not in the office with Chris right now and not able to see that hard copy, I wanted to just pull up the website really quickly just so you can get an idea for the magazine. So this is the Start Healthy magazine. So again, it's all general interest articles. It just has a slightly healthier spin to it. So you don't have to like be a bodybuilder or do CrossFit to appreciate it. It's something that everyone can appreciate, you know, even if you're just trying to have one healthier meal per week with the family. The nice thing is you have access to both of these magazines. So it's not like you're locked into one or the other. You can always flip flop back and forth between the two. But taking a closer look at it, 48-page coffee table magazine, like I just mentioned, it's all general interest articles, and the publication is fully branded to you as well as the recipient that it's going out to. And as you notice, the biggest thing about it, it's general interest articles. It's not filled with a bunch of, market analytics, closings, open houses. And for that reason, it's going to be seen more as a gift and item of value rather than the in-your-face piece of marketing. So just to take a closer look at some of the just the customization and the branding. So this is the front cover. So the first thing you notice is the agent's photo, logo, and contact information. So as soon as your clients pull this out of the mailbox, you are the first thing they see. There's no question as to who it's coming from. And then in terms of the imagery, you actually have about 30 different options to pick from. So you can go through, pick the imagery that fits your personality, something that you love. When you flip to the inside of the front cover, there's a letter to the recipient. So right at the top, it says your client's name. So Dear Bill and Judy, rather than saying something generic like Dear Valued Resident. And then even with the letter, we have templated letters you can use. You can edit those letters. You can write your own letter entirely. And you can even tailor it down to the individual level. So if they just had a baby or bought a home with you, you can actually wish them a personal congratulations in their magazine. And then to the right of that, you'll see one of our tear out cards. So it's about the size of a postcard, but there's one tear out card in the front, one in the back, and they are recipe cards, do-it-yourself tips around the home. There's over 600 options to choose from. Best part about them, they do have your branding on them. So if somebody gives that out to a friend or family member, or even to keep for themselves for the recipe, it's one more way that we keep you in the home longer and also extend your reach in the community. So one of those cards in the front, one in the back. And then the back cover and the inside of the back cover of this, these are really blank canvases. So whatever you'd like back there, client testimonials, success stories, you can have listings, co-brand with a lender, or even if there's like a local business that you like. I heard that coffee shop was floating around. If you wanted to mention them on the back cover of the magazine, really whatever you'd like on the back cover and the inside of the back cover. And then I did want to take a quick step back from the magazine. So we've definitely noticed how much success agents are having through social media. And I know one of the biggest mistakes a lot of agents make is posting too much about the business. So if you are posting nothing but the market analytics, the closings, the open houses, if your followers aren't looking to buy or sell right now, they're mostly tuning a lot of that out. So what we've done is we've created a library that has every article that we've ever produced in a digital format, where you can handpick and share the content to your Facebook, your Pinterest, your LinkedIn, whatever you have. And it's a really nice way to keep the content fresh and keep the followers engaged. This is all included with the magazine. And then obviously this is a presentation on marketing. So I did want to highlight some things that we do see a lot in the business. So one end of the spectrum, you have the dinners, the bottles of wine, the gift cards, and these are all great gestures. Your clients will love them. But if we are taking every one of our clients on a quarterly dinner just in hopes of earning their business back in 5 years, we'll all go broke along the process. Other end of the spectrum, you have the newsletters, the flyers, the emails. Again, these things all do serve a purpose, but I know they tend to hit the trash can pretty quickly. And that can really be one of our biggest obstacles. The number one reason that agents use our services is because of our shelf life. So we average a 3 to 4 week shelf life in the home of your clients. And again, it all stems back to the quality of the piece and the fact that it is being seen as a gift and an item of value. So this is making it past the trash can. It hits the coffee table, the nightstand next to the bed, and it stays there. It keeps you in the home longer. It keeps you in front of those people that matter most to your business longer. So I do want to pause for questions here. Now, there's two questions that I always seem to get. First, of course, is how much does it cost? And we do have some really great incentives that I will get to in just 1 minute here. And then the second question that I always seem to get is how often does the magazine come out? So with our 3 to 4 week shelf life, we have a new magazine every 2 months, 6 times a year total. So every 2 months, we have a new publication for you. But I wanted to see what kind of questions we have on the magazines themselves, the branding, who it goes out to, or anything along those lines. And of course, if you're muted, feel free to unmute yourself with any questions.
This is the participation part, you guys.
Do you have any statistics of how well it reaches the market?
Yeah, so we have a few GfK stats that we always pull every year. We always have a third-party study done. And I think the shelf life is one of them, the 3 to 4 week shelf life, because again, your picture's on the cover of this. So while it is sitting on the coffee table for 4 weeks at a time, they're seeing your face, they're seeing your name every time they walk through the living room, or when they're grabbing their remote control to throw on Netflix, they're going to be seeing your face and your name. So I think the shelf life is one of the biggest ones. And then also we average a 39% referral rate. So I believe that comes out to like 19 referrals. So I know, from there it kind of comes down to what the average agent closes out of those 19 referrals, what the household income is in your area. But I know having that referral rate, 39%, that was pretty good for us too. But those are two stats that pull out to me personally. And of course, if you would like, I can give you the full the email of the full rundown of all the stats that we got from GFK too.
Seth, when you say 19 referrals, that's based on sending how many magazines?
So we actually send out to the top 50 of the database. So our whole concept, we want to reach out to the top 50 of the database. And the reason being is we're not trying to coat the entire database. I think, like you mentioned earlier, we want to focus on your top clients, your A-list sphere of influence. And what's the NAR statistic? Everyone knows between 3 to 5 people looking to move in a given year. So even during the pandemic, there are people buying, selling, investing. So when we're focusing on your top 50 contacts, there's 150 to 250 referrals sitting right there. And if we can get you closing 10% of those, like you mentioned earlier, that's a big swing for most agents. So that's really what we're looking to do, is really focus on those top contacts that do matter the most to your business.
So if we have 100 agents, if everybody sent them to 50, there's going to be some people receiving more than one magazine. Is there any way around that?
So we actually do work off of exclusivity. So we want this to be something that's special and unique, that's just coming from you. So as soon as the agent sends over the list of the contacts they want this being mailed to, we lock those addresses down. So no one is getting duplicates from other agents or financial advisors. This will just be coming from you.
Even if it's another company?
Yep. So even if it's another company, even if it's a financial advisor or a lender, one magazine per household.
Okay. That's cool. So it's the address, not the name?
Address, yep.
That's good to know.
Any other questions before I get to the good stuff?
I got a question for people. How much do you think it would cost to send this magazine? Because I was surprised, to be honest with you.
I bet $250 a month.
Okay. What do you mean 250 a month?
I'm thinking, well, because I did something for the past 18 months that each magazine I was in, I think I paid like $200 or $250 a month to be in that magazine.
Okay.
But it wasn't going to my database, which would have been better had I done this deal.
I think that's the really exciting part about this, is we're trying to narrow our focus. Like Buffini says, we're trying to really make the 50 or 100 feel special. By the way, Seth, if somebody wanted to mail 100 or 200, can they do that?
Yeah, we do increments of 1. So after 50, you can go to 51, you can go to 100. It's really up to you. And that really allows the agents to always update their mailing list from mailing to mailing. So as you're getting new clients, maybe somebody moves out of the area, if you want to take people off the mailing list, add people on, you can always change that up.
Okay. And if I remember right, Melissa told me you can get blanks as well.
Yeah, so a lot of agents actually like to get some copies sent to themselves. So if you wanted to have them on hand for listing presentations, or even to start getting them out to some of the local businesses. I know like people like to put them in hairdressing salons, doctor's office, dentists. Sometimes those waiting rooms are nice places to be. But yeah, you can always get copies that are sent to yourself that won't have that personalized message on the inside of the front cover. That would instead be more of like a value proposition, who you are as an agent, why people should be working with you. But yeah, it's always nice to have a couple copies on hand as well as a first impression piece.
Cool. So hit us with the good news or the bad news.
All right. Well, yeah, if you have a pen and paper, feel free to grab it. Or even if you want to take a picture with your phone, this is the good slide. So there's going to be a couple different promotions that we're going to tie together here for the next week for the office. The first of which is the big one. So the activation fee. So typically to get set up with us, it's $300. We're going to drop it down to just $99 for the office. So $99, it's a one-time cost. It gets you in line with one of our personal marketing advisors. So the marketing coach is helpful because everyone's using this differently. We work with top producers, brand new agents, everywhere in between. So they really hand tailor the strategy for you as an individual. And then on top of that, and maybe more importantly for some of you, we know that you're busy. So think of the marketing coach like your personal assistant. They're here to make it easy for you. Really all we need is your photo. You send over the list of the contacts you want it mailed out to. We take care of everything else for you. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we do work off of exclusivity. As soon as you get that contact list over to us, we do lock those addresses down. And then the price of the magazine is the second incentive. So usually we do this off of a sliding scale. So the more you buy, lower the cost. What we're going to do for the office here is we're going to give everyone the bulk rate. So it's just $3.99 per magazine. And that does cover all of the back end. So the shipping and handling, the printing, the customization. So we do mail this directly to your clients. We cover the postage. And then, as I mentioned, the minimum order is just 50 magazines, and you are able to mix and match. If you wanted to have, 30 of these going out to contacts, 20 to yourself, totally up to you how you like to use these. So $3.99 times 50 magazines comes out to $199. And again, that is bi-monthly. So if you break it down, it comes out to be about $100 per month. So the nice thing is you don't pay for the magazines up front. You pay for the magazines when you want them going out. You get to pick all of your own deadlines with this. So it seems like there's two schools of thought right now. A lot of the agents that I'm working with right now are shooting to get their first mailing out in like the beginning of October. So that way, all the families and the kids are back on their routines, getting back into the swing of things with school. And then the second mailing 2 months later would actually land right around Christmas time during the holidays. So that's like the first school of thought. And then a lot of my other agents are trying to get it out the week or two before Thanksgiving. I know that's another popular holiday when, even during COVID, I know that there's still gonna be families that are getting together, and it seems like that's when all the good family gossip comes up. So again, it's entirely up to you when this goes out. We have mailing options for you every single week, so you can pinpoint when you want it going out. And again, that is when you pay for the magazines. And then the last thing is we always start everyone off on a one-time mailing. So you don't have to dive into this head first. You don't sign your life away to it. Really, the whole purpose of the first mailing, we want to earn your business the right way. We want to prove that it works. We want to get you some referrals. And we know if we could do that, of course, we've done our job and you're going to be coming back to work with us in the future. And I know for myself, I always really like to take a big step back from the magazine because it's not about a magazine. This is really the bi-monthly reason to pick up the phone and call some of your contacts. We know that sometimes making those calls isn't the easiest thing to do, and this really breaks down the client to agent wall, and it becomes more of a friend-to-friend conversation. See what they thought of the magazine this month, see if they tried the recipe on page 12, but really once you have the conversation going, this is when you get to do what you do best and talk some real estate. See if they have any friends that are looking to move in the next couple of months here, maybe even setting the expectation for a good referral in real estate. And my agents that make those follow-up calls always get the great feedback on the magazine. I had this guy who was telling me that his clients say look like a movie star on the cover of it. But more importantly, that is when you start to uncover the referrals, and that's when you really get to see it grow your business firsthand. So that really wraps it up on my end. Now, there's one last thing that I wanted to do here. They always let me do like a little day of the presentation doorbuster sale. So if anyone is sitting there nodding their head, thinking this sounds like a pretty good idea to try out for the fall, anyone that hops on board today for the trial mailing, we're going to get you an extra 15 free magazines towards the first mailing. So you'll have 15 magazines that are paid for by us towards the first one. But I know we always have questions on the pricing and the logistics of everything. So what kind of questions do we have overall?
There's my cricket sound effect. I think that you probably had them right up until you suggested they pick up the phone and call. That seems to be the deal killer. But tell us about this trial mailing. I heard it, but it's 50 mail. Like how much does it cost for that trial mailing?
So it's the $99 setup fee up front, and then the $199 for the magazines when they go out. So basically we're saying we're not going to tie you into a contract. We're not going to handcuff you to us. Try it out once. And if you love it and you want to continue working with us like Melissa and Rick have for years, of course, come back to work with us. The price per magazine stays the same. No setup fee. It's one-time good for life. And if it's not everything that you've hoped and dreamed for, we part ways as friends. So you're not in any sort of commitment or contract or anything like that.
Nice.
So $99 up front, $199 for the 50 magazines when they go out. And of course, it would be 65 magazines for anyone that hops on today with those extra 15 free. And sometimes those freebies are the fun ones you could play around with if you did want to get those ones sent to yourself. And I know a lot of people like to do that with the extra freebies too.
Smart. But you could send them to 15 additional.
Yeah, I mean, however you'd like to use them, basically think of it as a $60 cash credit towards your magazine cost.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a very professional magazine.
Yeah, I'm glad we were able to get a copy of it in Chris's hands, because I know once you can actually see it, hold it, feel it, definitely the quality does stand up.
It really is nice. I mean, the key points I took away is, care and competency is the combination. That's the magic combination that Buffini talks about. This is extraordinary for establishing competency. Very few people are going to ask, how long have you been in the business if you show up with it. Gift instead of marketing. I mean, when you send a magazine and it's full of ads, it's not very attractive. No ads, unless you put Jeremiah's on the back cover, which I hadn't thought of that, but that is freaking brilliant. I mean, for your top people who own companies, to have them highlighted on full page, they don't know if it went to 50 or 550. So that's pretty powerful. The other thing I was pointing out, if our average commission is 5,000 on the low, that's the median. You can send this thing, every year for 4 years. Would you get one deal if you sent this for 4 years? I mean, it's just a no-brainer. So 6 times a year. So it's $1,300 the first year, $1,200 every year after that if you don't change your setup. Is that correct, Beth?
Yep, exactly.
This is your chance for questions, you guys.
I'm sold.
Sold?
Is that Jeremy who said that?
Yeah.
What I was even going to say is the number on the screen, 570-878-5870. That's my direct work cell. So if anyone is interested, you can give me a call. You can shoot me a text with a good time to talk today. And even if you just want to have, a one-on-one conversation, bounce some ideas off of me. I mean, I'm working from home, so I'm bored. Give me a call anytime. And then Joni, did you have a question as well?
I have a couple of them. What is needed from us to get started? And do we have to write any of the content that you put into the magazine?
So the really nice thing is you can be as hands-on or hands-off of this as you'd like. So a lot of our agents love how easy this is. And like I said, the marketing coach, they're going to be your best friend with it. So really all we need is your photo and your list of contacts. And a lot of them say they send that information over and they tell us to make it look pretty for them. But if you wanted to, you can go through, you can pick out your covers, you can pick out those tear out cards, you can send over some information that you'd want included on the back cover and we'll whip it together for you. You could even go as far. I know some of our agents are skilled with Photoshop and InDesign and all that good stuff. We can even give you the specs of the back page. You could whip something up, send it over to us, and we'll put that in the magazine. So you could really be as hands-on or hands-off with the customization as you'd like. But again, that marketing coach, they are going to be taking care of the load on this one.
That's good to know, because I'm sure a lot of us don't have time to sit down and write just an article or
exactly
even an ad. It's
yeah, one of the really fun things that we actually just started implementing is, I know again the kids are all getting back into school, and I know a lot of your clients and contacts are probably going to be doing some cyber schooling, doing some homeschooling with their kids now. So one of the things that we have added to the tear out cards and some things you can put on the back cover is we have fun activities to do at home with your kids while they're doing the cyber school. So those are some of the options that we now have for the tear out cards and some stuff that we can put on the back cover too. So that's been pretty popular for us.
Joni, you say you had a couple. Is there another one?
No, I just wanted to know what was needed, and I'm not good at writing content. So that's where I kind of stay away from this type of marketing, because if I have to write it up, I'll never do it.
Yeah, we have you covered there.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't have to choose a thing. I'm sure there's just a default, right? I mean, once you have the
Yep, exactly.
Just send it. Don't even talk to me. Just send it.
Yeah, and I always do it actually for the holidays for my friends and family. I always actually send it out. Everyone always gets a kick out of it. But I always really like doing that because I get to get the experience that our clients get, and it is super simple. If you have 10 minutes in the next 2 months to go through and click a button a couple different times, it's as simple as that. So it really is simple. And even in terms of getting your contacts over to us, if you have it in a CRM, that's great. Excel spreadsheet, Word document, we'll take it handwritten. Whatever kind of jumbled mess of contacts you have, send it over and the marketing coach will sort it all out for you. So they make it really easy for you.
Beautiful.
Seth, are you local, and does the content, does it pertain to our Indiana Midwestern area?
So we're actually based out of Philadelphia. So we're in Philly. The content is going to be nationwide content. So like exactly like Architectural Digest or like a Southern Living magazine. So it's going to be nationwide content. What some of my clients do is if you did want to bring in some of that local presence to it, if there's like an event coming up in your area that you wanted to highlight, or, you know, if, like I said, the local coffee shop that a couple agents have mentioned, if you wanted to tie some of that in, you know, let us know and we can whip that into the magazine for you. Some of our agents like to do that to get a little of a local feel to it. So that is an option for you too on the back cover or the inside of the back cover.
Bad part about our area, as probably as the same as in yours, is a lot of our events have been canceled.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an odd timing right now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if nobody has questions, you guys take down Seth's number there.
Yep.
Yeah, and I will. I'll go ahead and I'll turn things back over to you, Chris, and I'll throw my my contact information in the chat box as well. But yeah, again, everybody, thanks so much for the time. Chris, again, thanks so much for having us out. And let me see if I can figure out how to make you the host again.
I hope so. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Seth.
Absolutely. All right, you should be all set there, Chris. Again, thanks so much for having us out.
Yeah, man, you bet. Take care. All right, I'm going back to sharing my screen. Pretty cool though. I mean, that magazine is super high class. I looked at it again. There are a couple ads in there, but it's tastefully done. It's not like a whole book full of ads like Glamour or Architectural Digest or something that you'd see like that. Yeah, I'm impressed, and I don't get impressed by too much of this kind of stuff. They also have postcards that you can order. They have blog articles. He hit that a little bit, but if you're like, well, what do I post? It's not the kind of stuff that I recommend posting, but if it's between not posting anything and posting that, well, it's 99% better than not posting anything on social media. So it would be good for that. All right, let's go back to presenting here. Any final thoughts on that?
I thought it looked really very professional, very good quality.
Yeah. 1,300, how's the, I mean, 1,200 a year to send it to 50 people every 2 months. How's the price hit you guys?
It's like doing a pop buy without doing a pop buy.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's why I say, you know, we've got to stay in touch and we got to have conversations with people, virtual, face-to-face, whatever. And some take time and some take money and some take both. And if you're going to spend money, you got to make sure it's really impactful. And I suspect this one is, you know, I don't have personal experience, but I personally would have gone for this and during my career because it's just very unique. I know Melissa's had good feedback. Melissa and Rick, you know, if you're considering it and you haven't made up your mind, you're not sold, talk to them and see. They may not be real thrilled, you know, that somebody else is going to do it, but you know, the exclusivity is, I think, really important too. You wouldn't want Treva and Jeremy both to send to the same person. It's a little kind of shabby.
Yeah.
So, all right, back to the business at hand here. So we're talking about ways to create relationship and generate referrals, stay top of mind that cost money. So the client parties, the pie parties, I think Kelly and her group do a pie party up there, seems like. I've done it. Anybody else on here done the reverse pop by where people come at Thanksgiving and they pick up a pie from you, your database?
Not yet.
It's pretty good. Those pies, those particular ones on the screen right there are from Costco, and I think they're like $7 or maybe $9 a piece. I mean, it's really affordable. And you send the invitation out to people. Come by the office between 5 and 9 on Thursday night before Thanksgiving, and I've got a pie. And some people just make them all pumpkin. Other people, like when I did it, I had people choose, do you want apple pie or a pumpkin pie? And there was one other one. And then, you know, you put their little name on it when they come. And it was was well received, well received. I think I spent about $200 by the time I got the pies and the wine. Postcards, recipe cards. I know Buffini makes fun of them. Pretty much everybody makes fun of them, but they work. Especially if you're, you got a little money to spend, but you don't want to invest the time. You just want to do something easy. Then a postcard is good. I had some that had my name and picture like that, and not recipes, but they had motivational quotes because I was kind of the motivational guy. So it fit my personality. And you can send those for, gosh, not even 50 cents per household. So you can send them to a bunch, like your mailing list of 200 people. You could mail it for $100 a month or every 6 weeks. Swag, boom. I'm a big fan. Over here. I'm a big fan of the swag. So if you're not wearing that, you are missing a big opportunity. I mean, Aardvark, all you got to do is, if you want top of mind awareness training, just watch everything Joe Mishak does, because this guy is, he should be getting paid thousands to put on marketing seminars. I've never seen anybody better with top of mind than Aardvark. You get a little cup. If you've used them before, on your birthday, you get a little cup of candy. Then another time you get a koozie for your, it's just constantly something. At every golf outing, they have a booth, and it's just really amazing. So if you're not doing swag, it's an easy way to have a couple extra conversations. Even if you don't have a conversation, it just reminds people what you do when they see you out and about or in your pictures online. Pop buys, we talked about that, time and money. This is why they are so incredibly effective, because you're investing both time and money and energy into people. And they feel really special, even though you're spending, I think those peeps I gave out were $1 a pack. So you got less than $2 per person. If you did 50, you've got $100 plus your gas invested. And you will get a referral. Unless you're a jerk. People don't like you and you go pop by, that's not going to help. But if people like you and you pop by, it's going to create referrals. All right, what if you have no money? I got no money. I'm just getting started at this thing. I can't invest money. I can only invest time. Well, here's the first thing. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever. I saw this lady's, in fact, I think I've saved her little video here. I want to play it for you. 50, 25, 1. Let me see. Oh, crap. I didn't save the video, but what she said, and you see here, it's 50 likes or hearts or angry faces or whatever, one of these reactions. 50 of those, 20 comments, 5 messages to people that lead to one conversation that somebody would remember. That's the goal this lady has every day. I don't know. That's a lot. I don't know if you can really count on doing that every day, but if you did 10, 2, 1, and 1, that would be powerful. You see what it doesn't have on there is posting anything. Yes, we should post, but that's not where the magic is. All the, generally new people especially, they want to ask for the business. Ask, ask, ask. That's not what you want to do. You want to validate, notice, pay attention, comment, interact, and then every now and then ask. It's what Gary Vee called jab, 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 right hook. You give, 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 and then you ask. If you just right hook, right hook, right hook, you ask, ask, ask. It's super annoying, and people will hide us right away. So this is interacting. The thing that people are missing, my daughter is a genius at this. She says the thing people are missing, especially young people, is somebody to notice them. They just want somebody to notice they exist. Even their parents don't notice. Their parents are too busy to even notice. So you'd be shocked. And men, don't be afraid of that heart button. All us dudes are scared of the heart button. You can hit the heart button. It's okay. No one will think you're soft. I hit the heart button maybe more than any other button. I love it. That and the laugh emoji and the wow. So just interact with people. All right. Your stories. Is Tiffany still on here? Oh, Tiffany, she's still on here. Tell us about stories, Tiffany.
I don't know that you want me to do that, Chris.
Come on, I do too. I know you're getting some success off of these stories.
I mean, it's intentional, but it's nothing that's like curated. I try to be as organic as possible, but it is definitely interactive.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want to point out is you're doing things just as they pop up during the day. You don't have some big strategy. You're just being you. But when you're just you, you become very approachable and very human and very real, and people can tell whether you're somebody they would enjoy working with or not based on the kinds of things you put in your stories. Stories, in case you don't know, it's on Instagram and Facebook. It's content that only lasts one day. It disappears after 24 hours. My initial thought on that, well, that's stupid. Why would I do anything that's only going to last 24 hours? Until I did it. Probably the same as Tiffany. Once you do it, you realize, oh, tons of people watch this. Tons of people. Even if they don't say anything, you'll see them, you see them at the store and they're like, man, that was a good video you did walking in the woods. You're like, man, I didn't think anybody saw that. Nobody even commented on it, but they saw it. A lot saw, what you do. So, and it's easy. Like Tiffany said, you don't have to curate anything. You don't have to think about it ahead. You're just sharing what happens during your day. Happy house anniversaries. I love house anniversaries and birthdays. It's not free because you got to buy the card, but if you go on Amazon and you type house anniversary card, you can get them for $1 a piece plus 50 cents for the stamp. For $1.50, you can really stay top of mind at least once a year. So if you did happy house anniversary and you did a birthday, that's 2 touches a year for people. And if you don't know their birthday, it's a little weird to ask sometimes, you can get from their loan officer knows their birthday from their loan application. If you have a good relationship, they will tell you the birthday. A weekly email. I always talk about Ricky Carruth. He sends a weekly email. He's not missed a week in 7 years. Now, what does this tell you about somebody if they didn't miss a week for 7 years?
They feel it works for them.
Hell yeah, it works for him. It also tells me this guy is dependable. He is like clockwork, So is weekly too much? I don't know. There's a lot of debate on that. He says he doesn't care, He's sending it now to over 10,000 people a week. And it's basically, it's not free when you're sending 10,000, but almost. And I want to show you what the email looks like. So here are all the emails. I just looked for Ricky Carruth. I've been getting them for, I don't know, over a year. It's not fancy. Here's what the email looks like. So this is just like a Constant Contact or MailChimp or something that he probably pays $50 a month because he has such a massive email list. You could probably do it for $20 a month. But he puts one picture of whatever's going on in that market, in this case, a hurricane. He puts, just a paragraph or two. Now, he has a website. If you don't have a website, you don't need to put all this stuff. And then just the same thing. So he changes like one picture and one paragraph. To Joni's point, you don't want to start writing articles and doing all this, especially every week. You don't want to do that. But this guy gross commission income as a single agent over $1 million per year. Not sales, commissions over $1 million a year. And this is the only, now he does all kinds of marketing because he's a coach now as well, free coach. But that was the only marketing he did. He cold called and he sent the email. That's it. So I got to believe this is super powerful. That's something I would probably do if I were going to sell again. All this quietness, I don't know. So we're going to just wrap up. What time is it? 10:59. We still got an hour to go. So I do want to show you one video that hopefully will get you fired up. But we had 3 goals. Figure out what is top of mind. I think you guys got the picture of that. You want to be first. You don't want to be among the realtors they think about. You want to be first. And you can be first with a very small, select group of people, and that's fine. You'll still be highly, wildly profitable, even at just 100 people. Even at 50 people, most of y'all would make a great living. So what happens if you don't have 100 people? Well, one of your goals is, how do I add one person a week? You know, can I call my past customer and say, gosh, Angela, I really loved working with you. I like your sense of humor, you know, your entrepreneurial spirit. Who else do you know that I should know that, you know, thinks like you do, that you think I'd get along with? Can you introduce me? You get one new person a week. Pretty soon, you know, within a year, you got 100. 10 options to achieve top of mind awareness. I think we covered that. And then pick one and run. So Jeremy picked one. He's going to run with the magazine. Maybe more than that, but at least that one, right? Anybody else pick one? Anybody else going to do something out of this list of things I've shown you?
I
Not
do
everyone
the
all-
emails
You do the email, the weekly?
almost weekly. I have been lazy lately.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's pretty amazing. The like Aardvark, they send a recall notice update. And Sally was, she commented to me like, I don't even open those, but every month I think about Aardvark because it shows up in my inbox and I just see Aardvark and then I delete it, but I remember, oh, that's my inspection company. And because we were talking about this session I was going to do, and I said, well, does that make, you know, if someone asked you who to use for a home inspection, would you remember? She said, absolutely. You know, and that was 3 years ago that she bought a house and used them. They've never called, they've never popped by, they've never done anything special for her except send that weekly email. So that's, or not weekly, that one must be monthly. So yeah, it's super powerful. So here's what we got. Social media, 50, 25, 1. We got pop buys. We got Northeastern Group swag. Wear it. I feel bad. I go on dates with my swag on. I'm not even selling. I'm just trying to rep the company, you know. Parties. By the way, I've told these guys to you guys before, but bowling alleys, maybe not a good time right now, but once COVID calms down, you can go to a bowling alley and say, I want to have 48 people come and bowl, and I want to provide pizza and beer. And they'll set it up the whole thing for you. All you got to do is invite the people, show up at the time, shake hands, kiss babies, and get referrals. That's all you got to do. DeBrand's Chocolate. They have a chocolate tour. That's the one I used to do. It's like, I want to say it's $4 a person or $3 a person. I mean, it's cheap. You say, I want 25 people to come Thursday night for a half-hour tour. There's a little private room there. You can show a market update if you want, or you can do nothing. Just go on the tour with 25 people and their kids, try out some chocolate, feel good, like instant client party. So I don't want you to think this stuff is super difficult to put together. There are lots of businesses that will be happy to throw you together a party. All right, daily stories on Instagram and Facebook, house anniversaries and birthday cards, the magazine. This is in the order of importance, by the way, that I think we should do. This is my top 10. Well, social media is first. If you're not doing social media, if you're not interacting with people every day on social media, what are you doing, man? It's free and it's easy, and all you got to do is notice what people are doing. Second would be pop buys. I think that's the most powerful thing we can do other than just be present every day and notice people on social media. Swag, no brainer. Parties, that requires some time, energy, money, but highly effective. Your stories, your house anniversary cards, the magazine. And the only reason that's down there is, you know, it is a significant investment. I'm okay with that. If it pays, I'm good. Weekly emails, monthly mailers, postcards, email newsletter, snail mail newsletter, whatever, and birthdays. So the question, what's your plan? Here's what Gary Vee says. Stop thinking. Stop pondering. Stop strategizing. Stop debating. Just go and do. Just get started. Pick one and go. So Now's the part where you have to sign off if you're offended by cussing, because Gary Vee is known for his exceptionally good cussing. So I'm going to play you this little Gary Vee video here. Plug your ears if that offends you. But I hope it'll get you fired up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up to
That's not him, by the
52.
way.
That's how many books the average CEO reads. 52 books. You should be reading this.
Document versus create. People aren't starting. They're just not making. They're thinking, they're pondering, they're strategizing, they're debating. A lot of people look at finished products. They look at LeBron today. They look at Kobe today. They look at Beyonce today. You know, the difference between understanding who you are versus who you wish you were. I mean, if you want to be respected and really known, show the fuck up. Enough listening, start doing shit. Don't be scared. And if you're scared, find somebody who's not scared. Make them your partner. Like, it's action, it's going, it's doing. And if you're passionate about something in your world, you can make a big difference. You've got to pump out content. Wine Library TV worked. And Steve, I look like a hostage in Iraq. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Wine Library TV. But here's where people that pump out content make a mistake. They care about the camera and the lighting and all that other horse crap. It means nothing. Everything I believe in was not possible 5 years ago. Anybody can get in the game and talk about the things they love the most, build a business around their passion. Hello, everybody. This is Gary Vaynerchuk, and this is my 120. Everybody, it's Gary Vaynerchuk, GaryVaynerchuk.com. I'm playing with airtime. Not really. It's down right now. You know, that's the whole promise that we never believed before, which was do what you love. You always heard do what you love, but you won't make as much money. You know, the game has changed. You know, we talk about all these products. Don't be scared to be multi-dimensional. You're not unfocused. You know, nobody in this world should define who you are. You can be so many things. You can crush it doing video blogging, and you can crush it doing blogging. I mean, it just comes down to what are you good at? I think that's been turned on its head. Do what you love, and you'll probably make more money than you could ever imagine. I think it's much smarter for you to talk to the world about your process of going through this.
This is what's critical right here, you guys. So many realtors are trying to be impressive instead of just documenting what happens in their day-to-day life and what they enjoy and how they're having fun. That's why Tiffany is doing so well with those stories. She's not selling on the stories. Not selling. It's just showing and just inviting people into her world. And if you guys don't know the story of Gary Vee, you really got to look into that. This guy started immigrant from, I think, Belarus, living 4 or 5 people in a 1-bedroom apartment. He worked as a carryout boy in his dad's liquor store, convinced his dad to go online with the liquor store, grew it into a massive business. And now, 25 years later, this is the #1 guy in marketing and social media on the planet. And he started with nothing. So it's a fascinating story. He has practiced what he preaches from day one. And it's really amazing. So let's hear what he has to say.
Than the advice that you should think you should be giving them. I think documenting your journey on Medium, your own personal blog, YouTube. The Ice Bucket Challenge. Bring it, Nate. I know you're going to love this. SoundCloud, Anchor, you know, on and on and on. Snapchat, on and on and on. Hey guys, I know I look like the Emperor from Star Wars right now, but of you going through this journey. I mean, it would be really cool to have content right now about when Vera Wang started learning, like literally learning how to create a dress, right? We are sitting where the gatekeepers are no longer in control. Guys, I was in my office in the dirty jers, right? And I started taping Wine Library TV. One of the great things about Daily B is that D-Rock's around a whole lot, and some things are obviously gonna be for show, but sometimes things come along that can stand alone. And you need to be thinking about documenting more than you need to be thinking about creating.
What do you think the appeal is of the daily show, Daily B?
I think that I wish I documented all my truths to this level, because all the people that think I was smart about Twitter, they don't even know how much
show, stick to science, stick to cooking. Why do we always want other people to stick to? I don't want to stick to crap. You know what I want to stick to? I want to stick to what makes me happy and what I want to execute again. You know, that's what I want to do.
You didn't think it was true that they were 15, 16 hours a day. You thought they were hyperbolized and they were 8 or 9. You didn't realize every minute was something. You didn't realize that it's every day. I wish I did this 7 years ago. I wish you got to see the last 7 years. Every minute, every day, always, forever.
The world is changing, we're more connected, and your legacy, your maneuvering, your decision-making process has to start at your long-term legacy. Big picture always wins. If you're pumping out good shit, people will follow. But if you for a second, half a second, don't believe in what you're doing, whether it's your personal brand or the product you represent, you need to get out now. Always think of the big picture, the legacy. Who are you going to be viewed at when it's all said and done?
If I actually, from where I started, go on to buy a $4 billion sports organization, and I documented the entire journey, my words are motivating, and I'm good at that. But the reason I do Daily V and the reason I'm documenting so much is if I can put out a body of work 40 years from now that showed the process of a young man that put in the work, had the vision, did it the right way, tried to help people along the way because he was trying to build the biggest building in town by building it, not by tearing everybody else's buildings down. And then I actually accomplish it, well, that becomes a real great American dream story. And this is why I want to build a massive business, because I want to teach the world that you can build $1 billion empire on good. Like, there's no reason this unfortunate narrative that affected a lot of my friends of Steve Jobs, like it became the move to be a dick because they're gonna get the best work out of people. I'll tell you right now, I'm 40. So far, here's what I got for you. People work way better when you deploy honey than vinegar. I've gotten much better work out of people because they're guilted to let me down versus being scared of me. Get the fuck out of here. You should start a pillar show, whether it's, vlogging I think is very fascinating. You know, you should be doing Instagram stories and Snapchat stories at scale. You should be putting out 7 to 25 pieces of content on both those platforms a day. And let me explain how. Don't go fancy.
Before you guys get scared, I'm not suggesting to put 15 pieces of content out a day. This is for somebody who wants to take over, rule the world. You want to sell 250 houses next year? Okay, well, maybe then you do have to go to that level. But I'm talking about 2 a day or 3 a day, 5 a day if you really got an exciting day. But just to document the procedure. When I got my license, I went stood in front of this of the Northeastern Group sign, in the snow, taking a selfie in front of the sign in front of the building. That's documenting the process. It's not acting like I know more than I know. I'm just telling you, hey, I'm fired up, man. I'm ready to go. I got my license. I got my company. I'm wearing my suit. I'm out here doing something. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not trying to put on a front. I'm not renting a Mercedes so that I look like I'm somebody. That's what all these fakers do, is they try to act like they're something they're not. And for new people, what we got to do is just show the real process. I'm doing my first CMA. I'm trying to figure out how to open this dang lockbox. I'm driving around in the, I can't get the GPS to work. All those day-to-day things that are humbling, but show that we're hustling. We're going to learn this business. We're serious about it. That's what people love to see. And then they want to get behind you. They want to help. Whereas if you're like, call me to find out how much your home is worth. Well, you only been in the business 3 weeks. I'm not calling you to find that out. You got to offer something else. So
Document versus create. It's a big shift. When I say 7 to 25, you say, my God, how do I produce 7 to 25 meaningful things that will have me respected? Versus document. You got to put out stuff, and you got to fabricate it. Like I still can't believe how many people that live in New York don't use New York people. If I were you and I had an hour right now, go to the fucking park right now. Like, I don't know, like go back to your basketball league, stand outside the garden right there and be like, what do you think about the Knicks' upcoming season? Yeah, interview 4 people. One person gets into a thoughtful conversation. He was the former ball boy in 1957. It's a nice story, and boom, You see where I'm going? People aren't starting. So you can't create, distribute. There's no excuse for not talking to the world. It just doesn't have to be your thoughts and words every time. My friends, the key to content success is you've got to start documenting instead of creating. Let me tell you how. Just start.
I don't know about anybody else, but I'm fired up. What are your thoughts on that? Unmute yourself. Let's hear something. What can you do with that information?
I think he's highly motivating. I'm not watching.
It's important to use a strategy that works.
What? Say again, somebody was talking?
I just said I haven't been watching him, but I could see why he would be very motivating and open your mind to other things that you might not consider.
He's a beast. He is a legit beast. Started with nothing, and he is literally the man when it comes to advertising now. I mean, he has $1 billion company, several of them actually, and he did it just the way he's describing there, just talking about the process. What else? Somebody else was talking too.
Sorry, I missed all of that. My phone wouldn't stop.
All right. Nothing else. All right. Well, I guess we call it a day then, you guys. I'd love to hear some more ideas and what you do to stay top of mind, but it's like pulling teeth getting people to speak other than Jeremy and Treva. So I don't know what to do.
Well, I thought it was awesome, and I listened to it. But I don't have the application for myself as the managing broker, but you know, I certainly, I don't even get on social media, so I'm no good at any of this stuff.
Yeah, lucky you.
I guess I always think when we're making a video, and I haven't made a lot, but I have made some, I usually think that it's related to work or the lot or the property I'm trying to, you know, promote. And his approach is really like sharing yourself, I think, more than anything. And then somehow people are connecting with that, whether it's an inner need that you have that you're trying to resolve. Like I've got a goal that I need to walk away from work a little bit more and then come back. I have no problem with the coming back. I have the problem leaving because I like to finish everything. And so that would be a struggle I could share. I've always said if you're interviewing, I can say, oh, my strong work ethic, that's my strength. But when they ask what your weakness is, I could also say my strong work ethic.
The same thing.
So that could be something I could, you know, somehow capitalize on, I guess.
It's kind of funny that this is what we were doing this week, because over the weekend I found this sitting on my bookshelf and I had started reading it.
Yeah.
And then I restarted and I'm 3/4 of the way through already, and it's almost identical to what we've been talking about today.
Good. When I write my book, it'll be a hit then. If you guys want, if you're still interested, I mean, if you guys want to jump off, that's fine. But I think maybe I'll show you that Tom Ferry that I started. I didn't want to keep the fellow waiting, but Tom, just these next 5 minutes of this one, have some really good ideas on what to do to stay top of mind. So if you jump off, I won't be mad, but I think I will play it. Stick around if you'd like. About the best thing I've seen, just summing it up.
Of mind. It's just a great little acronym. Top of mind plan for us to generate more referrals. Number one, we talked about this so many times. I've got to call or text to get them on the phone. I've got to call or text to get them on the phone. I want to speak to them every 90 days. Every 90 days. Hey, Taz, I'm just checking in, right? Hey, Dan, just want to see what's going on, man. Congratulations on, right? And having that kind of, you know, the new baby, the new engagement, just staying top of mind, just staying aware. And by the way, we all know that if all you ever do is call and say, oh, by the way, then all you ever do is call and go, that's all you do, right? That was good. I got a little giggle out of that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, my insurance broker, right? She calls me all the time. But half the time she's just calling in and say, oh my goodness, I saw that photo of your son on Facebook. How did that happen? We've known each other forever. And bing, Julie Bauer shout out to Julie Bauer, is suddenly top of mind. She doesn't say, hey, by the way, Lisa, man, who do you know? Right? She just
That's where me and Buffini part ways, you guys. I think what he's saying right there is critical, that his insurance agent calls and becomes top of mind again. But she doesn't say, oh, by the way, who do you know who wants to buy a house in Cherry Hill, or, you know, the market's hot. You know, she just talks to Tom like he's a person, like he's a friend. I want to refer a friend. There was a great book called Chocolate Covered Dog Crap, you know, and I've talked about that before. But, you know, when you get the birthday card from your insurance agent and then out falls the business card, it doesn't feel like it's an ad. And, you know, when you call and say, congrats about your son, I saw on Facebook, how did that happen? And then you end with, oh, by the way, you know, then was Treva really calling about me and my son, or was Treva fishing for referrals? I'm not willing to take the risk. I never had any problem getting referrals, and I rarely came right out and asked directly like that for it. But I did a lot of this, which is just touch base, notice what's going on in their life. And it's never been easier with Facebook. Good Lord, all you got to do is go to your, you know, top 50, go to their Facebook, see what they're posting about. You have an endless supply of things to talk about. It's never been easier to talk to somebody. Text them, saw your thing about the pontoon, sorry the motor fell off, whatever. You know everything going on in their life. So it's easy to reach out. So that's what
Days top of mind. A few days ago, we met with a guy, Logan. Logan is an amazing writer. And he came in and he was like, look, he was pitching me on something. He's like, this is what I'm.
There. Treva, you were saying?
Oh, I just wanted to say, Kelly and I both subscribe to the local newspaper. And to be real honest, most of it is not worth a whole lot. It's gotten smaller and smaller. But the reason why we do that is because, well, first of all, we do care about our community. But also, a lot of times there's somebody in the sports section, their child or somebody, we'll cut that out and mail it to them and just say, hey, thought you or Tom might like to have a copy of the clipping. Also, I hate to say it, but we check obituaries, but you know, just because of sending sympathy cards.
Yeah, I mean, that is old school right there, cutting and clipping and mailing. But you know what? When they get that, oh my gosh, it is an amazing personal touch. That's what, you know, does that cost anything? No, nothing.
Right.
But
And
it takes time and energy and effort.
And it's no reference to our business at all. We don't do that.
Perfect.
This is just perfect. Just reaching out to them as people.
Yeah, just they're your friend.
Sorry to interrupt that.
No, and it's not interrupting at all. I want encouragement for people because we're always looking for the easy button, and there are no easy buttons. There are no passive ways to crush this. That's why if you send that magazine, yeah, something will happen. But if you send the magazine and you call to follow up, did you get the magazine? What'd you think of that article about the Cinque Terre, you know, in Italy? Buffini says 700% increase in your likelihood of getting a referral if you'll follow up with a phone call. So the easy button is send the magazine. The effective part is follow it up with a phone call. But even sending it, I think, is still powerful.
I've known this guy for 6 or 7 years. He checks in with me all the time. And it's not always like, hire me. Sometimes he's like, hey, have you seen that new car? Want to take it for a spin? I've got one, because he's a writer and like, you know, like car companies give him cars and that kind of thing. So he'll just check in with me. And then a few days ago, he was like, hey, by the way, I got this offer. And because he'd stayed in my consciousness, boom. And by the way, here's the best part. He walks out of the meeting. I sent him 3 referrals. Right? He was talking to me about something that was interesting to me. He never even during the meeting said, hey, you know, do you know anybody that might be interested in this? He's just always staying in communication. You with me on this? And that's the magic. That's the Tom plan. Stay top of mind by always bringing relevant news, checking in. How's it going? It should literally be like, after a few years, people are like, huh, he's going to be calling me, right? Ring. Hey, Tom, I've been waiting for your call. That's how much you want to condition your database, your customers, your sphere to know. Does that make sense? So number 2 is obviously I want to send them an email once a week, give them open house invitations, keep them engaged in events, things that we're doing. Here's what's going on, client success, just listed, just sold, all that good stuff. Number 3, I want to do 2 direct mail pieces a month, because at the end of the day, direct mail still works, right? Direct mail still works, especially when you overlay it with phone calls, email, the secret weapon, right? Activating your base. When you do all these things together, you stay at the top of their consciousness as the agent of choice. Does that make sense? Now, the last thing I wrote down, oh, by the way, under direct mail, a just listed, just sold combo piece, just 1 a month of all your new listings, all your new sales. Tom, I'm a brand new agent. What do I do? All of your company's new listings, all of your company's new sales. You with me on this? Go to your broker manager. Can I take 4 or 5 of the photos of our listings, right? And say, this one was listed by, and this one was listed by. A team always outperforms an individual. Your face, your information, got questions about these properties, boom, you send it out to your customers. Does that make sense? You use the other agents in your office with your broker position, and you win. Make sense? All right. 2 direct mail pieces a month. 1, a just listed, just sold combo piece. Don't send me your 13 listings just listed, just sold in 1 month. I don't need that. I know you're listing a lot of houses. Send me the 1 with all of them to your database. And then number 2, I think it's, look, what is the number 1 question you get every day? Oh, hey, you're in real estate? How's the market? Right? This morning, I was standing in line at Starbucks, and guy behind me, hey, Tom Ferry, I've seen you on your YouTube show. That's really cool. I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. His name is Jay. And I'm like, Jay, what do you do? He goes, oh, I build, not office buildings, but hospitals. I was like, you build hospitals? That's awesome, right? We're chatting about that. We're discussing it. And I thought, you know what? This guy, by the way, guess what he asked me? Hey, you talk to a lot of real estate. What's going on in the real estate market? What's happening? Like, how's it? No. That's what everybody wants to discuss. So why aren't you once a month sending up something that says, curious about the value of your home? Go to my website, right? Curious about what's happening here? Go to my website. Give them what they want so they're not asking anybody else, but you are the source of knowing exactly what their home is worth and more. Does that make sense? And then the last one, number 4, if I really want to stay top of mind, over there on my wall, you can't see it, but it says, how do I build a high growth business? Number 1, you got to decide on your wildly important goal. Number 2, you got to create an only statement. We're the only company who X, right? You have to operationalize or institutionalize everything you do. And the last one says, cultivate and activate your ecosystem. Now, you've probably seen us do this over the last 14 years.
I don't think we need to see all that. I'll stop it there, but get the idea there. Call, text, FaceTime, pop by, stay in contact, stay top of mind. I want to see if this video, if I can find it quickly. Nope. What Sorrento. See if I can find this, because I have an idea of something you could do. I'm not gonna. It's too long past. I can't think of where to find it. But what I did, I wanted to farm Sorrento. Pick any neighborhood you want. And I went and stood in front of the sign of the neighborhood and said, hey, it's Chris Anderson, Northeastern Group. I'm bringing you this market report from Sorrento. Here's what's happening in Sorrento this month. 4 houses sold. And I have a little paper. Let me tell you what they were. This house sold for $825. This house sold for $150. This house, whatever. Here are the new listings. If you'd like to see any of those or want to know what your house is worth, give me a call. It's just a quick, selfie video in front of, it's you with the sign in the background. So it's super interactive, and I mean, the people that live in Sorrento, how can you not watch that? You have to see what the
I have
guy.
some leftover spinach quiche I'll share.
Oh, okay. I'll take the spinach quiche.
Oops, sorry.
All right, you guys, that's all I got. Anybody want to add anything before we jump off?
Thanks.
No, I was unmuted. Neil was hungry.
Hey, Neil. All right, you guys, that's it.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks for stopping in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.